Hi, this is Miss Lamb, back after a break to continue talking about spreadsheets in our spreadsheets and social distancing um, project. So last we were talking about filtering and sorting our data, and now we come up to the fun part, the data analysis part. What data analysis is all about, it's about asking our data questions and then figuring out how we can use a variety of different formulas to try and answer those questions. And so what we're going to do for the next series of videos is we're going to ask the data various questions, and then we're going to do our best to answer those questions using formulas. We'll start easy and we'll get more complicated as we go on. As we go through this, we'll be using formulas, we'll be creating charts, we'll be creating tables, we'll be doing all sorts of interesting things to manipulate the data. And that's actually where human brains come into this, because we need to think of the questions to ask our data, and only then can we use the automation of a spreadsheet in order to be able to get those answers. But that's why human beings are still an essential part of data analysis, because we need to be able to have the questions that we want to ask. So we're actually going to start by adding in a second tab. And to do that, we're going to go down here to the bottom left, and we're going to click on the plus, add a sheet. And now we have an extra blank spreadsheet. So we have our original data here in our first tab, and in our second tab over here, we're going to be able to do all sorts of interesting things. So the first thing I want to actually do is I want to rename this. And I do that by clicking on the little arrow and pressing rename. I'm going to call this data analysis, and then I press enter, and now you can see it saves. And if I really feel like it, I can actually go ahead and I can add a color. It doesn't do much, it just changes that bottom stripe to a color, so it's not an essential step, but it's definitely something that's very interesting. So we've just added in a new tab, and now the first basic question that I have is how many trips are there? Without me having to scroll all the way down to the bottom, I would like to know the number of trips. So I'm going to go up here and I'm going to write number of trips. And then the way I do number of trips is a really simple formula called count. So what I do over here is I press, remember, formulas start with an equals, and then we type in the formula, which is in this case count. We're checking for the number of numeric values in a data set, and we're going to click here. So now it's asking us for a value. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to go back over to our first tab. We're keeping this open, and I can see that it's open because it's still showing up here, and I'm going to just click on the A. What this is doing is it's selecting the entire column A, and it's going to count how many values are in column A. I press enter, and then I wait for it to populate it with the answer to my question. There we go. And I have 19,728 trips that were made. Great. That was really easy. That was a count formula. That was number one. And in the next video, we're going to go on to asking our data the next question.